And then I saw you post that you were giving tarot card readings, that you just wanted to get more experience to really work on your craft. So I signed up, I did it, I was blown away. Then I asked you, I said, hey, can my friends sign up? I know they would be interested. You said, yeah, sure. So then a bunch of my friends signed up and they were blown away. And that's how we got where we are here today. So I actually have a quick quote from one of the friends that you did a reading for. So this is from Jennifer Doyle. Let me have this. Okay, she says, Mariana gave me a great reading and is definitely a natural intuitive. She was right on with where things were for me, and I'm so happy that she proudly shares this ability that she inherited from her grandmother. So that's from Jennifer Doyle. So it's nice to get some great feedback. So I guess I'll share kind of what blew me away by our first reading. So this was a year ago, and then we just did another one a few days ago that we'll touch on. But when we did it a year ago, everything you said really resonated, and there are things that it's like, how can she know this stuff? The one that really blew me away was, it was during the pandemic. And there was a period of time where money was tight for me because all the ways that I make money are very social. Normally, I'm on a plane every few weeks for business. I'm running big events. I'm networking. I have people over. What else? Yeah, just everything I do involves in-person stuff. So suddenly there was like the cash flow kind of dried up, and that was a source of stress and worry for me. And suddenly you flip a card and you go, oh yeah, just stop worrying about money. In the near future, money won't be a problem again. It won't be an issue. And it's like, what? Like how do you know these things, right? And then at that point, when you said that, there had been real estate had tanked because people didn't know. With COVID, we didn't understand it. We didn't know if we just leave our house if we're going to die by going outside. So there were no showings, no houses selling for several months. And that was the period in which you told me not to worry about money. And then suddenly after that, real estate went to all-time highs, just irrational exuberance, people like bidding wars and just record-setting numbers. So suddenly I look into what I could get for my house if I sold it. And it was just an obnoxious amount of game-changing money. So I sold my house. I moved to Ottawa. Things are way different. And money was no longer an issue within a few months of you saying that. So I thought that was insane. And when we touch into the stuff that we just went over when you read the cards a few days ago, our listeners will hear all that as well. So I guess we'll start with, where did this come from for you? So Jennifer in her comment mentioned your grandmother. So this is a family thing?
Right. So, I mean, I want to just preempt by saying thank you, first of all. And it's so nice to hear people having a wonderful experience. And I know that not everyone does, and maybe they're not all happy with what they hear, but the fact that you two did, and it brought you this hope or whatever you felt, I'm very happy to hear. But not every buddy gets this inheritance of these gifts from just because they have a parent that is. I know that just from listening to people like, oh, my grandmother was psychic, and they don't have it, right? So I guess I'm not sure how it comes. So let me be straightforward. I don't know if it's a genetic predisposition. And I wouldn't say that I'm special in the sense that everyone can access this. Everyone has intuition. Just everyone doesn't know how to tap into it. And so part of what I like to do is also get people to tap into their own intuition. So I think it's a gift that we all have. I just listened more, or was able to listen, or had the tools to listen, or quieted my mind enough to listen to my intuition. But I think everyone has that. So my grandmother, we can talk about my great grandmother, who lived in Mexico. She passed away when I was 11. So I was grateful. I was so fortunate to meet her, because not everyone meets their great grandmother. But I remember, so my experience of her is as a great grandmother, not necessarily a psychic healer, Later on, I would hear the stories of what she actually did, and I was like blown away. But I just know that on Fridays, if we were in Mexico and visiting, there would be like chairs outside of her office, and like we're watching TV, and these like strangers are in the house, all sitting and like waiting their turn. And I think I thought initially like she was like a businesswoman, or I don't even know what she was doing. Like I wasn't really told what she was
She kind of
doing.
was a businesswoman, but
Yeah,
with a different kind of
you're right.
business, you know?
Exactly. You're right. And I just knew like that's her office, and like, she had a piano in there, and she like we would go play the piano, or I mean when she wasn't using it and working. Anyways, so I have all these memories, but then I remember her like desk drawer, and I would open it and see these like stones and these like almost these like magnet fragments and the tarot cards. And she'd be like, don't touch my cards. But I wouldn't listen. We would touch her cards and we would look at them. And we were just I guess for me, I was always curious. I was a very inquisitive child. So I was always curious, like, what is this? And I would look at the pictures. And her tarot are different. I haven't seen them. They had Egyptian iconography on it. So I could see this like Egyptian stuff. So I was just always like, what is this? And then she had this like scarab, like the scarab little, it was almost like this made out of I guess a stone. And that was on her desk. Like I just have all these memories, and the memories of people sitting waiting for their turn to talk to her. And then as I grew up, and later my mom told me, yeah, they were waiting for readings. Friday was her day. For some reason, Friday was energetically a better day for her to do readings. And then my mom would say that every month she was invited to like a baptism, because my great grandmother was a godmother, because people who were having issues infertility, because she was also a herbalist. Sorry, I have to mention that. So I guess what she was doing, and I'm speculating because she didn't really tell anybody. But I guess what she was doing is scanning people or using her intuition to help heal them, and she would provide them with herbs. So a lot of herb healing, a lot of energy healing. Like I remember a story that stuck with me where she told somebody to sit in a tub in their backyard of water right at 12 o'clock to get the direct energy of the sun. So things like this. So I would hear these later. So and she'd always talk about spirit. And she'd say, don't be scared of spirit, be scared of the living, not the dead. Like, because everyone's so scared of spirit. She's like, the living are much more dangerous. So, and then even the story of once she came here, I think a couple of times she came, but she'd be like, oh, there's a very strong psychic here, a native. She'd tap into native energy here. So yeah, it was just, we were always like kind of a little bit scared of her, just like a tiny bit, but but loving her, obviously. She never read for children. I think she did read for my mom, but she didn't like reading for family that much. So I know that about her, but she just wanted to help. And truthfully, she would say donation, and people in Mexico in that area, like they weren't well off. So some of them would come with eggs from their chickens, food, some or whatever they could donate. But they were really loving people, and she was very loving to them and caring about her community. So I really like that. I honor that in her, and that's why even for me, I in honor of her, I say it's by donation. So,
So you said you guys were a little scared of her. Sometimes we fear what we don't understand, right? So we're not quite sure what's going on with her. And as you learn more about it, you realize maybe there's nothing to be fearful of. You mentioned that
right.
she felt better energetically on Fridays. Can we agree that I think we all feel better energetically on Fridays, right?
Absolutely.
But
TGIF.
her for different reasons, I would think.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think different reasons. I think for her, she knew a lot about astrology as well. I don't know that much about astrology, I'm going to be honest. And like she'll come to me in dreams actually still. And that was the latest dream I had of her was her saying, learn about astrology. Okay. So that would be a next goal of mine. But yeah, Fridays was and it's true. I think we were just, it's funny because now what I was scared of is what people are kind of scared of about me. The reservations were like, I was like, is she reading my mind? Like, so I would always be worried.
Yes, I am
She
reading your
knew.
mind.
Yes. So I'm like, is she does she know what I think? And no, that's not true. But anyways, yeah. So I think she was just a wonderful woman that really, she actually used the whatever donations she received into her reading to invest in real estate, to be honest.
She
So,
was a
and then
businesswoman. I like it.
yeah, but always like that energy of healing separated from the energy of making money. So that, and I have that where I say, if I want to use money, I almost say I use money to make money grow. But when I see the person in front of me, I see them as me. I feel we're all connected. And so when they stand in front of me, usually I'm, chances are I've gone through something they've gone through. I'm currently facing it. So it's almost like a mirror shows up. And I want to help. So I don't see it. And a lot of my clients can't afford to pay. That's fine. As long as, and I know people say, well, you need an energy exchange. You need an energy exchange. So money's the energy, and they have to know they're receiving something, and they're giving something. And sometimes I say, just give me good wishes, like give me good energy, just send that, and your thanks, and knowing that from your heart that that's an energy of thank you. So yeah, I just admired my great grandmother, and she used that anyway. So she was able to raise 4 great grandchildren because my grandmother didn't really have a husband that was involved, and her own husband, my great grandmother's husband, died when she was pregnant. So I have a line of these like badass women where they were able to really like show up with their gifts and give those gifts to the world and know how to provide. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very proud of them.
In the business
Mhm.
world, I hear it said often that people that don't pay attention. So that's why you need the
Right.
transfer of
Mm-hmm.
something. So again, it doesn't have to be money, but if someone's providing you something, then they're going to take what you provide more seriously, because we don't value
Yeah.
stuff that's free, right?
Right. And I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. So I do think, I mean, in the future, I might really set prices and say like, this is, everyone's like, well, what are you worth? I think we're all priceless. We're all
Yeah.
worth infinity, really.
But you're
So
also,
all
it
these,
depends what your intention is. And right now, it's you're trying to develop this craft that comes through the generations in your family. And even though you do an amazing job, and it's surprisingly you're spot on with everything for someone that says they're not an expert and they're just
mm,
trying to get better. But I guess that's, you're putting in your 10,000 hours right now, just like, even if I'm, say, talented on the guitar, it's like I'm gonna play for free because I got to build up my craft to the point where people are willing to pay for it. So I think there's nothing wrong with
mm.
where you're at right now.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for the validation.